She was already 77 years old, yet she secretly fell in love with an 18-year-old male university student. That day, she went to the park alone to read. Shortly after she sat down, a homeless man walked up to her. The homeless man shouted angrily at her, claiming this was his exclusive seat. His tone was fierce and he told her to get off the bench at once. Many bystanders watched, but no one stepped forward to stop him. Just as she did not know what to do, a man came over to drive the homeless man away. She looked up and saw a very young man standing before her. The young man chased off the vagrant, then turned around, squatted down, and patted her shoulder. As the young man was about to leave, she remembered she had forgotten to thank him and called out. She thanked him calmly and watched him walk slowly away, yet her gaze lingered on his figure for a long time. The next day she visited the library to borrow books. She ran into the same young man around the corner. He spotted her too and took the initiative to greet her. She grew flustered and walked over to thank him once more. Before leaving, she caught sight of the name printed on his library card and learned his name was Naoto. She went to a bookstore to pick writing paper, mustering up courage to write a letter to Naoto. 77-year-old Akina had been widowed for many years. She lived together with her son and daughter-in-law. Half a year earlier, her daughter-in-law suggested Akina move into a nursing home, but Akina refused back then. Ever since then, her daughter-in-law always wore a cold expression around her. Her son, caught in the middle, chose to pretend not to notice. After dinner, her son would leave the table and her daughter-in-law silently cleared the dishes. When Akina reached for more food, her daughter-in-law would take the bowl away, straight away. In her 70s, she had become an eyesore to her daughter-in-law. Having lost the ability to create value, she turned into a burden for the family. Her world felt desolate and every day she merely lived to pass the remaining time. She had a granddaughter named Yukari, a rebellious, troubled teenage girl. Yukari was very close to her, and they told each other everything since childhood. She asked Yukari to help deliver the love letter. Yukari thought her grandmother had fallen for an elderly man, so she agreed without hesitation. Akina brought Yukari to the library. Only then did Yukari find out the person her grandmother admired secretly was a much younger man. Yukari felt utterly shocked and embarrassed. The age gap between her grandmother and this young man was enormous, and this secret crush seemed absurd. Yukari, who originally promised to send the letter, started to hesitate. In the park, Akina told Yukari everything about why she wanted to send the letter to Naoto. 60 years ago, Akina was only 17. Wars raged every day. Back then, everyone struggled to survive. To help her parents support her 3 younger brothers, Akina dropped out of school and worked in a cafeteria to earn money. One day, a customer harassed Akina. A male student appeared in time to stop the man. After chasing the troublemaker away, the student squatted down and patted her shoulder. After that, Akina often sought the student out to chat. He was a student from Keio University, Faculty of Letters, a gentle and refined young man. He shared stories about campus life with Akina and talked about movies and music with her. Because he loved reading, Akina gradually grew fond of books as well. Akina had a crush on that young student and wrote him a confession letter, but overcome with timidity, she never gathered the courage to hand it over. Shortly afterward, the boy was conscripted into the army and sent to the southern battlefield. She never got another chance to deliver that unsent love letter, because 1 year before the war ended, the young soldier died on the battlefield in Kagoshima in the south. This had been a regret buried deep in Akina's heart for 60 years until she met someone who could help her settle this lingering regret. Naoto from the library greatly resembled that student from long ago. They looked alike, and the words he said when squatting to comfort Akina were similar as well. Moved by her grandmother's story, Yukari agreed to help send the letter. Fate worked in mysterious ways. Naoto sat right next to Akina. After leaving the library, Akina secretly watched him open the envelope and observed his reaction as he read. She saw Naoto read the letter earnestly and carefully put it away. On her walk home, she skipped along like a young girl tapping the railings. 1 day later, Akina received a reply from Naoto. In the letter, Naoto asked to meet her, yet she dared not show up. Age formed an insurmountable barrier between them. Akina feared Naoto would discover the writer was an elderly woman. She told Yukari about the reply. Yukari was genuinely happy for her grandmother, but soon a bad premonition crept over her. The next day, Yukari went to meet Naoto on behalf of her grandmother. They headed to the cinema together. Akina disguised herself and secretly followed behind them. They watched a touching film. Yukari cried non-stop. Moved by the plot, Akina behind her also shed tears, but covered her mouth with a handkerchief, afraid of being noticed. Akina would take walks on the street on purpose, pretending to run into the pair. Returning from their date, she thanked Naoto in her role as grandmother and invited him over on weekends to tutor Yukari. On the weekend, Naoto accepted the invitation to give Yukari lessons. Akina was overjoyed. She picked out nice clothes and applied lipstick. After dressing up carefully, she brought snacks to Naoto and Yukari in the living room. After that, Naoto came to tutor Yukari every weekend. During that period, Akina was truly happy. Everything around her seemed lovely. Even though Yukari was the one spending time with Naoto, she gained immense satisfaction. What Akina did not know was as they spent more time together, Yukari slowly developed feelings for Naoto. Yukari was a wild, delinquent girl. She had dated several boys in the past 2 years, all small gang members. She was easily drawn to the rough aura of hoodlums, yet she treated relationships casually. Every romance ended hastily. That night she walked Naoto home and ran into her ex-boyfriend halfway. Her ex-boyfriend acted frivolously, mocking Yukari as an easy woman. Naoto angrily stopped him, refusing to allow anyone to insult Yukari. The hot-headed gangster punched Naoto and knocked him to the ground. Even lying on the floor, Naoto insisted Yukari was not the kind of girl the man described. Naoto was kind and every gesture of his brought warmth to others. Yukari slowly realized this type of man was worthy of getting close to. Without noticing, she gradually changed, turning from a delinquent into an ordinary young woman. Yet, Yukari also felt guilty because Naoto was the person her grandmother liked. One day Naoto came to tutor Yukari as usual. Yukari's mother brewed tea for Naoto. Akina also wanted some tea. She carried her cup over to the sofa. Her daughter-in-law poured tea for everyone but hesitated to serve Akina. After much delay, she reluctantly filled a cup for her. The three drank tea together when suddenly Akina lost control of her bladder. She could not hold back her urine, exposing her most embarrassing side in front of the man she admired. Her daughter-in-law shouted and blamed her, complaining that she refused to wear adult diapers. Akina hung her head, unable to look at Naoto. Eventually, she fled the living room, overwhelmed with shame. In the evening, she washed her trousers alone in the yard. Silent tears rolled down her cheeks, and she quietly made up her mind. The next morning, Yukari woke up to find her grandmother gone. Her mother was cooking breakfast in the kitchen, wearing a bright smile as if in a wonderful mood. From her mother, Yukari learned Akina had decided to move into a nursing home starting. Today, Yukari could not accept her grandmother leaving the house. She ran frantically toward the library, knowing her grandmother must have gone there to return books. She hoped to persuade her grandmother to stay. Yet whether Akina could remain at home did not depend on Yukari. It depended on Akina's own will, on whether her son would beg her to stay and whether her daughter-in-law would stop her cold treatment. Akina did not want Yukari to grieve. She comforted her granddaughter, saying this was her own decision. I have finally sent the love letter I kept for 60 years. I hold no more regrets. I want to try living elsewhere and experience a different environment. Akina noticed Yukari had fallen for Naoto and encouraged Yukari to confess to him. Akina did not truly fantasize about being in a relationship with Naoto. The person she loved was the student from 60 years ago, present day. Naoto was only a spiritual vessel for her to fulfill her unfinished wish. Encouraged by Akina, Yukari arranged to meet Naoto on a bridge. Akari watched from far away. She watched her granddaughter summon courage to take the first step, but soon she felt she did not belong there. Not wanting to disturb Yukari's confession, she turned and left on her own. On the bridge, Yukari confessed her love to Naoto and admitted she was not the one who wrote the letter. In truth, Naoto had known all along. The letter was written by the grandmother. The emotions in the letter were delicate and straightforward. Yukari could never write such words. Naoto merely pretended ignorance because he cherished the time spent with Yukari. The two shared their true feelings and finally became lovers. Meanwhile, back home, Akina was about to be driven to the nursing home by her son. Her son suddenly felt remorse and wanted his mother to stay, but his wife pulled him aside before he could speak. Just as Akina was boarding the car, Yukari and Naoto ran over. This is a quiet, simple story, a tale about regret. Even after the ending, I still cannot be sure if Akina truly had no lingering sorrow left. Perhaps she was completely free of worries. She received the closure she longed for over 60 years. Back then, she dared not send that letter, uncertain whether the young student returned her feelings. Maybe that boy from the past would also have been touched by the letter and its writer, just like Naoto. But, unfortunately, the man who might have loved her was trapped forever in Kagoshima 60 years ago.